Hi guys, Aaron here and welcome to the workshop. Last time around I've shown you my new WattShop extensions which make my bike more aero and more comfortable as well. But as I said in that video, it is not the only thing that I've improved since then. And this modification also comes from WattShop, and as you can guess right now, it has something to do with shoes. Now shoes and feet are very important in terms of aerodynamics and time trials. And if you look at a normal road racing cycling shoe, then you can easily see why. Now most of these upper end shoes use boa dials now, which are not very aero, quite bulky. And also if you are using Speedplay pedals, even if you're using the aero cleat, there still is this little adapter that you need to fit the 4-bolt cleat on a normal 3-bolt shoe. Of course, there are some, not many, Speedplay specific shoes where you don't need this adapter, but there you lose the advantage of basically having a sleek shoe in the first place, because the likes of CD, Guerna and so on are very bulky and heavy, not very aero at all. So what can you do to improve on this? Well, my solution for the shoe problem has been, for 3 years now, the S-Works Sub 6 shoe. Admittedly not the newest release, but it's essentially the lace-up version of the Sub 6 or the S-Works 6. Hasn't been updated yet, I don't think it's on sale anymore. But here it is, very classy looking shoe with these flatly laced laces. No other closure system whatsoever, very sleek design, which is made even sleeker when you use the warp sleeve over them, which looks something like this. This comes up and then essentially creates a very aerodynamic shoe without actually having some overshoes on, which adds some additional frontal area in most cases. So this setup is potentially faster if you use also the correct socks. In my case, if I'm already talking about this, I'm going to show you the socks that I use. These are the Aero Coach Aero socks with a trip layer on the front, so not just the basic stripe material, but also this little edge. This is done on purpose to create, as I said, a trip layer on your foot. It's left and right specific, so it needs to be an exact spot to work perfectly, but it's a very fast, very aero thing indeed. Okay, so we have all these nice things, nice shoes and accessories, but what bothered me and probably the guys from WattShop as well is the fact that you get quite a lot of stack height from the Speedplay adapter, and you can't really use the Speedplay Aero pedal to its full advantage. So what is the solution to that? As I said, apart from going to a Speedplay specific shoe, which is not ideal because there aren't very good options out there, or to another pedal system, none of those are very optimal. So what they can do for you is that they take your shoe when you send it in and they modify it with this little adapter that's very different from the one that Speedplay normally offers with their cleats. Here you can see there's quite a sizable amount of stack going into it, additionally around 3mm, 3/4. With this one, however, you can see it's completely in line. And this has a couple of advantages. So firstly, it's a smaller frontal area of the shoe itself, which is a very minor change, but it's a gain nonetheless. Secondly, by removing these additional stack from the pedal system, you get basically a more closer connection between your feet and your pedals, which is biomechanically more efficient. And finally, in my mind most importantly, enabling you to get lower stack height at your feet also allows you to drop your saddle height by those 3mm or so, and your cockpit as well, to conserve the same position that you had before. And this in turn can, well, I wouldn't say significantly, but measurably reduce your frontal area, which of course is excellent for aerodynamics. So this is the main point of this modification. It's one of those marginal gains, I would say. But it's not very hard to do, it's not very expensive, and it can add up to a significant benefit. Of course, the complications are, or the implications are two. Firstly, it's not a plug and play mod, so you have to send your shoes in. You won't have them for a week or so, but the turnaround is pretty quick. And the other thing is that before you send your shoes in, you really need to have your cleat position dialed. The reason for that is once it's fixed, there is no longer the option of fore and aft adjustment on the cleat itself, because, well, it's fixed using this SLS printed conversion kit. It's fixed onto the base of your shoe. So from now on, I only have side to side and float adjustment in the Speedplay cleat itself. For me, this is not a problem, because I had my cleat position set up for years with no problems. But really, you need to have this dialed in before you send your shoes in. Okay, so this has been a roundup of your question, all things regarding your feet and aerodynamics for time trials. This, in my mind, is the fastest possible setup right now. I had one little tip, or one interesting product that I'd like to mention, is the Suplest track racing shoe, which is very similar in design to this S-Works Sub 6. It's a lace-up shoe, but you don't get the warp sleeve. Instead, you get this little cover that you can zip up. It essentially does the same thing, so potentially that's a very good alternative to the Sub 6. As I said, this might not be for sale anymore. Okay, so this was a very specific video about very specific marginal gains. So I hope that the time trialists among you have enjoyed this. If you want to know more about the other cycling equipment that I use for different disciplines, then don't forget to tune into the channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.